Hello and welcome to Nitty Gritty. I'm your host, Stephanie Bush, and today with me is Matthew McRobbie from B Yoga. How are you doing today, Matthew?
Yeah, I'm glad to be here. I'm grateful to be able to have this opportunity to share with the CMU student body, to really make this connection and be able to share, get some exposure. We're a new studio in town, so I'm
Oh,
grateful. Thank you for having
absolutely.
me.
We're
Yeah.
happy to expose you as a new
Yeah.
studio.
Thank you.
Fantastic. So, Matt, how did you get introduced to yoga?
You know, I was a health and wellness major in college. I didn't graduate with a degree, but I thought that I would move into the health and wellness field. And it just took years of life really to land into my dream. And it just happened circumstantially that I had time and money to invest and go into a teacher training program. I wasn't sure that it was going to be my heart really that led me down this path or if it was going to be the opposite of that. But through the teacher training and the time spent there, I knew that this was going to be something that I wanted to share and to really promote out in the world, which is a little scary for me to take something so authentic and in my heart and put it out there, different than having a job description where you kind of fit the role, like this gets to be my creation. So it was really nice. I really decided after the teacher training program that this is what I would want to share with the community.
Beautifully put.
Yeah.
So, how many years ago did you do that program?
You know, I finished my teacher training in 2015. And I started really slow because I had not taught yoga before. I did private sessions. I worked with friends and family. I built my courage and confidence within myself. And then I opened the studio, B Yoga, almost 2 years ago. And I was sharing the studio space with some dancers, so I had a very limited class offering. And in March, I took over the lease at 305 Main Street. So we're downtown, we're solid there. We have classes that are offered every day of the week, 2 classes a day. So we have established ourselves now downtown, and we're almost heading into a year. Yeah.
Fantastic. What are some strategies that you've, being a new business, how have you kind of gotten yourself out there? Have you partnered up with some other yoga studios in town and things like that? Or
Yeah, well, that's a good point. Just what you spoke to is partnering up with other yoga studios in town. Just for a quick plug for this weekend is that we have the Grand Valley Yoga Festival, which is every studio in the valley was invited. It's going to be a great community event where people come together. The proceeds are going to go to the School District 51 suicide prevention and awareness programs. So it is a lot of the reason that I got into yoga was for the community, not just the benefits that we get from the practice, but how much love was really shared and trust and supporting one another through those programs. For exposure, I do social media. So like look us up on Facebook, get us on Instagram, B Yoga, simply B. You can find us there. We partner. I'm doing Kiln Coffee community yoga class once a month. So first Tuesdays of the month is donation based. Everyone can come. If you don't have $1 to lend, then you come and you enjoy the practice. If you have $1 million to lay in our coffers, then our studio will be open for years to come.
absolutely.
So we've been with Carlson Vineyards, we've been with Kiln Coffee, we've been at Barks Play and Stay, we've been at Peach Street Distillery in Palisade. Gosh, I hope I'm not New Apparel and Athleisure in the mall. Like we're trying to get some events throughout in the public to bring exposure. So that's another way that we promote ourselves is getting out of the
Great.
studio. Yeah.
You're the do-it-all man. You're running the business and the marketing. You're just getting it out there. That's
Yeah.
fantastic.
And janitor and accountant and everything. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
So, getting back into the nitty-gritty of yoga itself, can you give me your core values of yoga and why people should really be interested in the practice?
Yeah, I think there's really a great benefit to be had from the practice. It's a really balanced approach to find out more about ourselves. It's really, we kind of relate hatha yoga to a physical practice. And I say hatha yoga because people recognize that there's really no sound in the Sanskrit language. It's hatha yoga. Hatha means sun and moon. So it's honoring both the masculine side of the practice and the feminine side of the practice. So the masculine might be what's visible and the feminine can be what's invisible. So we allow ourselves to come and connect. When we explore into our bodies, we begin to feel maybe some tightness, some tension. We bring awareness to the breath, which helps to soften our mind, softens our nervous systems. And we get certain physiological effects just from softening inside. Once we discover maybe tensions or strength, then there's that place where we listen inside. We have a greater capacity to get feedback for ourselves and where we're actually at. We learn to let go of judgment for ourselves, is that what is present for us, whether it feels good or feels tight. That's really just a message from our body, whose really innate potential to speak to us says, if you hold this pattern in your body, I'm going to get tight so I can speak to you. And you'll know that we need to soften here and we need to work together, and you have to listen to me in order to make that happen. You can't ignore me and I'll go away. So we just let people explore and journey into their bodies and into their inner systems and find out what is revealed, and it's different for everybody. So it's a path of growth and expansion and continued growth and expansion. Yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Well, if that wasn't a cue to make anyone want to do yoga, then I don't know what is. Beautifully
Let's do
put.
it. Come downtown. Let's do yoga.
So, how long do your yoga classes last at your studio?
Yeah. Right now, all of our regular class schedule is 60-minute class. It gives us plenty of time to do work. You get plenty of physical activity in. It fits into a time slot, I think, that fits people's schedules. There are a couple of reasons that we have the shorter class times, but it's plenty of time to get that good work in. If you're working hard, you work hard for an hour, you get a benefit. If you're very soft and inward and you take that time, by the time 60 minutes is up, your nervous system feels that effect. So we're very much growth over time. Easy does it to a degree, and then we're looking to get all of the benefits and the flexibility and the strength from one class. We're going to shed layers over time. We're going to build strength over time. So we give ourselves 60 minutes of specialized practice to do that in the studio.
Perfect.
Yeah.
What different levels do you offer at your studios and different class descriptions?
Yeah, we have all of our classes are described on the website. I would certainly recommend that people go there to check out the class that fits for them. But we have yin restorative yoga, which is very gentle, prop assisted, where we're kind of laying down, being supported into poses, so we can spend time there getting deep into a pose, and not necessarily physically deep, like really being in a pose, and experiencing it. We've got fundamentals classes, which work with preliminary foundational poses. So we speak of alignment and where the body lands and where lines of energy might move if you're pressing a hand away or lifting through a pose, or very technical, slow, beginner friendly. And we have some chair yoga, which is prop assisted, where half of the time is in the chair. We have some elderly community that comes and uses the chair for balance. And we have some young community that visits that class as well. And we do a flow class, which is vinyasa and a little more challenging, moving the body and breath. So we can really access the very beginner, and we can move all the way to advanced. And then we have workshops and special events that might even move deeper into the philosophy, or some target specific into some harder poses to work with that take some more time.
Great.
Yeah.
Very well rounded there. That's good to hear for us. So all this talk about your studio, lovely. Do you guys ever take advantage of Grand Junction's outdoors and do some yoga out there?
Yeah, we've been
Nature.
outdoors. Part of the challenge that I found was that in the summertime it's really hot. Like, it is hot yoga. It's hot yoga here in the summertime. But when the temperature is nice, we do plan outdoor events. We've been out on the monument a couple of times. We've been up in the Ribbon Trail, and we like to offer outdoor events really as much as possible. Those typically seem to land at venues where we have another business that we share with. That way we can collaborate and really share like that love and exposure into the community. But certainly doing yoga in nature is a beautiful thing, like to be able to listen to the trees and be grounded against the rock and feel the air against your skin and see the blue skies or sunset. Really whatever is present. And that's one of the gifts of our practice, is to be appreciative, to be grateful for the simple things. And even that we're able to walk into this studio and sit here and get up and down. Just having physicality is something that we can be grateful for, having eyes to see, that we can be grateful for, and ears to hear. And when we're in nature, all of those senses take a hold, and we get to see the view and hear the sounds and feel the skin.
So
Yeah.
lovely.
Yeah.
Well, it sounds like we have all the great options here in Grand Junction, from your studio to getting outside within your studio, kind of with you and your other instructors. So thank you so much. We're going to wrap it up. That is our episode of Nitty Gritty for today. Thank you so much for tuning in, and thank you, Matthew, for joining us today. That was lovely.
Thank you for having me.
I'm your host, Stephanie Bush, and I will see you next time on the next episode of Nitty Gritty.